we mix communication, marketing, and sales, and our value proposition is all those three combined. And in order for us to accomplish success with sales, marketing, and communications, we have two programs to support everything. One is change management, because we believe everything changes. Whether we like it or not, the world is always evolving, and we just try to facilitate change. And collaboration is another pillar of our work, because communication, marketing, and sales, they cannot happen if people don't collaborate well in the workplace. And so that's a little bit of what we do. I'm trying to be specific. Hello?
There's Yvonne, who just came in.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Yvonne, we were just introducing ourselves. So welcome aboard. We have one more person, Karen, who may be able to come in from Trinidad. And as you joined us,
a group of people, hello.
those people are in our summit room, and Jorge is now dark because the light's coming in from the back. That handsome.
Let me go close that curtain. Give me 1 second.
I'm just going to try and deal with the volume here.
Okay. What we're doing is just learning a little bit about each other. So it's kind of
I have my technical support crew behind me.
Okay, cool. There you go. That's better. So Jorge was sharing a little bit about his company in Mexico, which we went to visit a couple of weeks ago. It feels like yesterday, Jorge. It's still part of our thinking every day, I have to tell you. Can you just do a quick, the core of your company, the consulting, marketing, and sales company? Just do one quick.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So, well, basically, what we do is we help other companies, or we contribute to other companies' success, or organizations, because they don't necessarily have to be companies. We contribute to their success on whatever pursuits they have by means of working in communication, marketing, and sales. Communication implies consultants. Marketing implies other resources like art and design. We also have business intelligence. We conduct some market research. And then we have the sales part of it, on which we design commercial strategies, and we help with commercial execution. We also provide our clients with some differential selling tools so they can have a better chance of succeeding against their competitors. Even if it's a charity, charities are getting money from different sources, and there's just some X amount of money for charities, and so they have to get the money from the patrons or whatever. So we work with all types of organizations. And then we use two pillars. We believe that the pillars on which everything is built have to do with change, because change is something we cannot stop. It's just happening all the time. We understand and know that people typically have a rough time living through change. So we try to facilitate change for the companies. And also collaboration. We think that nothing is possible if people don't collaborate with each other. And so those two are the pillars of the work we do. And we try to have an integrated value proposition for the companies we contribute with. I guess that summarizes.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And we were introduced to Jorge actually indirectly about 5 or 7 years ago, when Sandy Hill, who I think may try to get on our call, was working with Jorge and was using creating coaching strategy. And when conversational intelligence came out, he said, I read that book, I'd like to meet that person. And next thing you know, we were on the telephone with you, and next thing you know, we were on an airplane to see you, and then next thing you know, Jorge came up with some extraordinary ideas about how to create an organization that is trained in conversational intelligence and brings it through the internship level and first level consultant, and then the next level, higher level co-creator consultant. And what was exciting is Yvonne, who I'd love to have speak with us next, she met me through a webinar, called up, and some magic happened, and we even had you come. You visited us in New York, your husband and you and your daughter, and all of a sudden we were into a conversation about how we could work together. So, Yvonne, would you share with us a little bit about what you do and
Absolutely.
what you're hoping that we can do.
And it's wonderful to meet all of you, albeit long distance. I hope at some point you'll have the opportunity to come and visit us down under. So my background really is as a lawyer and management consultant. I've been working in the leadership space for a number of years, and currently I do a lot of work with both the University of Melbourne, which is the Melbourne Business School Mount Eliza campus. So I'm involved in a number of leadership programs board in terms of both new and emerging talent and more senior leaders. I also work on a number of women's leadership programs where we really look very closely at, conversational intelligence in the sense of looking at language and the way in which women communicate with each other and assist each other in terms of positioning their careers. And certainly the other area that's of real interest is in relation to board directorships and ensuring functional boards. We're doing a lot of work to help chairmen and CEOs in relation to board work. So I was really drawn to Judith's work and the area of conversational intelligence. We in Australia have spent quite a lot of time looking at the area of emotional intelligence as part of, a suite of leadership development tools. And we're a little bit further down the track in terms of really understanding and embracing the power of we and the power of conversation. But from what I'm led to believe, there's certainly an appetite for it. So I'm very interested in exploring, how we can all work together collaboratively. I've worked in Asia as well. My husband and I lived in Singapore for a number of years. So I've done a lot of management consulting work across that region, and there is a real desire for greater communication skills, particularly in the cross-cultural area, cultural integration. So there are quite a few opportunities in that regard too. So I'm very interested in understanding a little bit more about the global impact of we and conversational intelligence, and really open to learning more from all of you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being available today and for sharing that with us. And after we went down to Mexico and met with Jorge, and he started to draw for us a picture of how, if we could come up with a model for how to grow conversational intelligence inside of a country or a region, and do it in a way that enables us to mirror that in different places in the world, so we build competency levels inside of a business that we're growing, as you and I were talking about, Yvonne, and then Jorge was talking about in Mexico. It builds not just one competence, but competence within a company that you're growing or a region that you're growing, which is what got us excited, and that there could be interaction across regions, so people could continue to, as Jorge described it, there's research, ongoing research we could be doing and sharing, and best practices that we talked about that today, best practices that we could be sharing. So it's a community that's global as opposed to just individuals working on bringing a higher level of conversational intelligence to where they work and to their clients. Well, now, if you were such an architect of this, I don't want to...
No, I guess you did it just fine. I'm just actually, mesmerized about how things permeated. No, I never imagined this was going to be, so well received. It was something we like to propose, but yes, that's it. Yeah. I'm very happy to hear it from you in such a clear way.
Well, Jorge actually drew the picture, and he said, well, what if you knew somebody in Australia? And he just drew, this is the picture. And what if you knew somebody in the UK? And what if you knew somebody in Belgium and Brussels and all the other, and Germany? And so you have to know that sitting in this room, because you said it with such affirmation, and what's the word, how do we say it? Esteem. That you have realized this group of people in my summit groups who are representing the companies that you were just casually growing, and South Africa, yes. And South Africa, of course, the biggest place in the world that I'd love to be able to penetrate right now. Right. And so I want you to have an opportunity to meet as they have materialized in front of our eyes, each one of the people that are interested and have been for a while interested in doing something in this area. Ross, since I missed South Africa, so unfortunately for a second, never missed my mind. Do you want to start?
Okay. So my name is Roz. If you want to have my back here, I guess you've met me.
Yeah, so you need to take out a new friend. I don't want you to miss our.
Yeah, no, I'm saying So, I am a mother of 4 grown-up children, a grandmother of 1, a wife of 1, and I guess that there's a part of me that really comes to this work from that space. In some ways, all the lost connection, because I haven't known this way much sooner. I think we lost it.
Oh, hold on.
PC.
It's my PC. Yeah, comes out. Hold on. Don't go away. There we go.
There we go.
I just have to constantly make it feel well.
And perhaps Ross can get a little closer so that we can hear her better.
That's a good idea.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah, okay. So here I go. So I think in some ways, as I said, I'm mourn the loss of what could have been much more connectivity with my children growing up if I would have known then what I know now. So I think the work starts at a really personal level. I have been working in the field of conversation and thinking for many, many years. I have a company called Thinking Company, built on the premise that it's the way we think that influences the way we talk to each other, which influences everything else. So it's a very firm belief. So I come to this work of Judith's with a very open heart, because I really think that it makes a big difference. So professionally, I've been in the field for quite a long time.
30 years?
Yeah.
30, you can say it. You may not say that with pride.
Yeah, but I get 30 years. How much about this?
Oh my goodness. And you're a teacher. And you work with such big Come on, I think I'm bragging a little.
So I'm very excited because for me it's a new direction. It's a new direction for the work. Almost feels a little light-hearted. I've gotten too heavy in the work, and this is kind of lifting it to a level that's can really reach lots of people at a level at which they can understand. So I really appreciate that about it. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet what I'm doing here. I realized once I was on the airplane, then I got onto the airplane without really thinking about it, but then I've always really followed my heart first. So I am here really following my heart. What do I want from this? I think I want a greater involvement, to be able to make a greater impact by being part of a community of people who together are working on something that's much bigger than me or all of us. Some kind of ripple effect, because I'm not sure that I can create it alone. So I'm very excited to be part of a like-minded community of intentional people. And I think that's the biggest reason I'm here, and that's the biggest thing that makes me really excited to know that we're going to be meeting this work from many aspects, many parts of the globe, many approaches, and yet there's something very central to it. And it's that connectivity that we're missing. I think I had a deep learning connectivity, both in my life and the lives of the people I think that's
And then you're going to be meeting with and talking with Abdullah, who's in South Africa, who
Northwest Africa.
I'm sorry, who lives in Northwest Africa, who we met 7 years ago. We've been talking to about doing work, and he has just left a company to plant his feet inside of this company, this community.
Yeah.
And he went to his company is called Accelerate Africa. and he's hoping to bring it to as many parts of Africa as he can. And he heard about your facilitation skills and is excited to know about it.
Yeah, and I'm excited to know about him. Really.
Yeah, that's great. He couldn't make the call, unfortunately, because of time, the time of day, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Cool.
I think
You have to come up.
Up close.
The chair.
Let's go.
Would you like to sit on the chair?
No problem. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Hello. My name is Alexander. I work for my company Tree. That's the unit to Soundview Executive Salaries. There was a webinar on it, and I saw the program, Conversation Intelligence, and said, wow, this is impressive. And I phoned her. Before the end of the session, I already phoned her. And from there on, I think it's about March this year, we get contact up and down, and I'm really passionate about this stuff. My company is focused on sales, communication, management, and I think it's all about communication. That's the reason why I believe in the program, because this is going to help companies and people transforming their lives, their teams, their organization, and I think that this world is coming at a turning point on which old models should be left and we should make place for new. And as I'm already in sales and marketing and communication from the year 90. So I started, I'm going to do something new with the rest of my life. I got the next 40 years to go, and the next 40 years I'm going to focus on conversation intelligence. That's my mission.
Wow. Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you have been experimenting with this now with clients.
Yes, I do. I do work with a program, and sometimes I teach people the different levels, and they really enjoy. They really get passionate about it because they see the added value. It's not a benefit; it's a true value that we bring to the people. And I'm willing to share all my information with you. Thank you.
Where are you from, Alexander?
I'm from Belgium, so I work in Belgium and France and Holland and sometimes in Germany. It depends. So
Yeah, you have the Dutch accent. That's right.
Thank you very much.
Alexander, do you work alone? Do you have other work?
Yep. But with you, other
Yes. I have a lot of consultants, freelance consultants that work with me, and I also train people into companies. Okay, and for George Jorge, we
Yes.
Mexico because we will have a wedding next year in Mexico.
Oh, well, as we say in Mexico, mi casa es su casa, which is my home is your home. So please stop by. And you know, my neighbor is from Belgium, so you will get to speak Flemish with her.
No problem. I can speak Flemish. That's all.
That's very good.
Have a fine afternoon. Thank you. Bye.
John.
Hi, I'm John, and I'm from the UK, based in a little city. I head an organisation called the Learning Centre. In a similar way to Alex, we're a group of associates working in learning and development. And our value proposition, or as we call it, our purpose, is to help individuals, teams, and organisations recognise and unleash their full potential. We've been around for about 30 years, and for the last 21 years, one of the things we're best known for is that we're a UK partner of Franklin Covey, sometimes better known as Covey Leadership, co-founded by Stephen Covey, who wrote, of course, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For a few years now, I've been fascinated and interested in neuroscience and some of the insights that provides, and material. I knew almost instantly this was a missing piece for the jigsaw, helping clients with what I would often refer to as an inside-out process to fulfillment, and that's to better understand self, relationships, and particularly the use of conversational intelligence. So, as Judith had mentioned earlier, I've already been practicing and introducing in a trial type of basis to many of my clients, and so far it's been extremely well received. And I'm here to learn more and to become accredited and to, fingers crossed, with good luck and the following wind, become the WE Institute for the UK.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Is that enough?
That's enough.
Just one comment for John. I really loved, and I actually wrote it down. That's why I was looking down in my piece of paper.
Okay.
And you say help people unleash their full potential. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that observation. And again, it's something I'm passionate about in helping organisations to succeed by looking at the individuals and the teams that they make up. And that's where we've begun to use the phrase inside-out approach to organisation.
Can I just ask you?
Yeah.
Sorry. Is the way in which you use some of the conversational intelligence material, is it more directed towards teamwork or individual practice?
Well, in reverse order, often when we go into an organisation and we do assessment or diagnosis, that's often what I call outside in. We see where the pain is, but invariably part of the way forward, part of the solution will start with the individuals and then the team part of and the teams that make up that organisation. So it really is individuals and their relationships that is key to the success of any team and any organisation. It's part of our firm belief. So I guess a long-winded answer to your question is that it starts with each and every individual, their appreciation and the impact that their behaviour has on their colleagues that is the key to organisational success.
I want to spin off of what Yvonne said and ask, when you are invited to come into organizations, if people say, we have a problem with the team, how do they present the challenge to you? Is it, can you come in and help our team because we're trying to do things and they're not effective, they work in silos? What's the diagnostic behind it?
Yeah, the client perception is often a very generic one, such as we need team building, we need to raise levels of engagement, we need better induction process, we need better understanding between the different silos. So often the diagnosis will be prescribed, but on examination, we were touching on this earlier, we find often part of the pain is in relationships rather than a generic diagnosis.
Yeah.
So we begin to see this is a very different challenge or type of pain than originally the client had imagined.
Yep, and that's good consulting. It's really what they think it is, the presenting challenge.
Yeah, and today we've been talking about customizing and how we would do a more specific and a tailored diagnosis and apply the material in a very customized way.
Exactly.
Rather than a generic, some people refer to sheet it. We've already very long-term relationships with clients and using this material.
Right. And that's what, when we visited with Jorge, that's what got me so excited in our first day of immersion in his thinking. They are part of the toolkit and what opens up their minds to deeper thinking about the challenges that they're facing. And Jorge, I mean, you just went right at the that are complicated and confusing for clients, and we can be in there helping them on new ways of thinking, and it emerges from inside out.
Yep.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Yvonne or Jorge, did you want to talk a little bit more? I mean, I know these are just ideas that we've been talking about and thinking about. They're not grounded yet. The houses are not built. But could you share some of the other aspirations that you hope that might come out of the evolution of our relationship and partnership and the potential building of some type of a creatively institute in your part of the world?
Yvonne, ladies first.
Oh, that's very kind. Look, I think, certainly from what I'm hearing, there are some very real in a consulting sense. I love the idea of having a kind of global research faculty to draw on in terms of sharing information and being part of a real we type organisation. I mean, I think that it would be interesting to understand in terms of the actual development of conversational intelligence in each country, exactly the level of receptivity and the work that's already been done. I mean, and helping organisations and individuals understand the power of we and the power of conversation. And so, I'm interested in other countries and certainly, Jorge, in terms of your thinking of the sort of global alliance, how you see that from an architectural perspective.
We were just talking about that today. This is our first, as we had our day together, that we landed on that being one of the ideas of what we'd like to pull together. In other words, that we are not just independent beings in a different part of the world, but that we can begin to utilize each other in some way in terms of the development of thought around how to approach some of the projects, to get ideas with each other, to bring new research in and have that available to share and to use to develop better thinking around how to work with our clients. So we're at the very, very beginning of this. We're not at all in the development stage, but if this is the challenge that we're putting in front of us, that if we're going to grow together in some way and have meaningful connections and partnerships, it's that type of sharing that we want to be able to do, taking deep dives. And I see Jorge back there because I know that was, I'd love to hear your thinking. Yeah?
That's what I got as foundation.
Well,
yeah.
I hope I have enough English to get me through my idea right now, because what I was thinking was about the Renaissance, that period in time on which imagination and creativity gave some research that I did, is that the sailors will meet in different ports in the world. And of course, the sailors were coming from all over the world. They came from different parts in Europe, North Africa, Asia. And of course, it was a time of discovery. It was a time of commerce, and of course, of adventure. But the sailors will get together in the ports. They will get together at the canteens or the restaurants or whatever. And great conversations happen in those places. And these conversations that were taking place with what people had seen in different parts of the world. So people would share what the art looked like in Italy, and another person would say how the art looked like in maybe in Morocco, in Northern Africa. And so, amazingly, through conversations, they started to discover a brand new world. And in the intersection of these ideas and at the intersection of the cultures is where all these great things sparked, And so when I met Judith and when we were talking about all of this is our new renaissance, because the fact is, the world is more globalized today. There is, of course, each country has its own culture, but culture is built every day by the people who actually are part of it. Culture is a consequence of people interacting, of people working together. And so I think it's a great opportunity. Culture by going into people from inside out, as John said, and then focusing on the relationships. So for me, the opportunity here is like in 1520, getting together sailors from all over the world to have a magnificent conversation, and I think great ideas can arise from this. But you need to have structure to make it happen, because a great idea is nothing if you do not follow through, if you do not follow up. And so we need to have a structure that allows us to exchange information from where we are, to exchange our own experiences, so that maybe something that worked in Mexico and has can have a tremendous impact in Australia. And maybe in Mexico we are not finding a way to construct something, and maybe in China they realize that a certain specific thing work out for them. We can apply it in Mexico, and perhaps something great could come out of this. But most importantly, if you look at it on the long run, what we're doing is really taking down barriers between people. Because quite frankly, as some professor said once to me, it's all about the people. And so that's what I can share with you right now, I guess.
That's poetry. And if you could see what's going on in this room, that we have a lot of people scribing some of your words. So if you were questioning about the quality of your English, don't question it anymore.
I love the metaphor of Renaissance.
Renaissance, right?
Renaissance.
I think you've touched people's hearts with that metaphor of Renaissance. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I see that Sandy is trying to come into the conversation, and we have one more spot on our box here to let her in. I don't know if Max is listening and can give her instructions about how to dial in. So, and since we've never done this before on this technology, Max, if you're listening to us, if you could let Sandy know how to dial in, then she can be here with us. So I'm just hoping you're out there in the Ethernet. In the Ethernet.
Can you go in the chat room and tell Sandy to click on one of the things?
I think she has to dial. Well,
No, she's on.
oh, she's on?
If Sandy's in the chat room,
Okay.
you click on one of the boxes.
I am. Oh, Jorge is there. Wait, Sandy. I can see you, Jorge. I see everyone. Oh my goodness. Just lost the connection. Karen, are you seeing the? Oh, Karen was trying to come in. I'm on the audio. Audio's not clear, so they're having trouble getting in. Okay. I love the metaphor of conversational ports. Oh, we're getting a lot of comments about what we're doing, but I just lost your picture. So, huh? Two other people on the line. Sandy?
Okay, now we just lost Judith, Yvonne.
Yeah. I've still got you.
Yeah.
I can't hear though. Can you?
You're back, Judith.
I went to read the list of comments, but it took me off the picture. So, anyway.
I can't see you anymore, Judith.
Yeah, can you see?
I can see everyone again.
Yeah, you can't?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Yvonne can't see you, but I can.
You can.
So
that's
maybe,
weird.
Yvonne, maybe you have to refresh your screen and log back in.
The screen. Up at the top, the little arrow that goes backwards. Refresh, and I'll come back up. That was a trick we just learned today. You see the refresh at the top where your HTTP is? There's a little arrow that goes backwards. And if you just refresh.
Hang tight, or you can join, continue speaking. Yeah, we're fine. I'm listening to Judith just fine, and I think I am being heard.
Yeah, you're being heard. I'm not quite sure.
So Karen is not hearing, and then Yvonne is just refreshing the thing, and we should be back.
Yeah. So for Karen, if you're listening, I hope that you heard some of what we said. It's when I.
Anytime, yes. Tell Jorge to explain this foundation.
Yeah, Jorge, do you want to explain a little bit more about the bigger picture you talked about? The Renaissance period piece was important, and also that maybe depending on what unfolds, that we have all considerations. And I don't want to put my words into your mouth.
No. Well, starting with the research and development, I think documenting business cases is an important thing. As we all work with our clients, customers, organizations, we can start documenting what's going on, and then all this documentation of the cases can be streamlined, and we can perhaps even develop a methodology to put it together, to put together the business case. That business case that perhaps was collected in Mexico. Pointing to the screensaver or whatever.
Yeah.
So, no, what I was just saying is documenting the cases as they are happening will give us intelligence in many ways, and that can be directed to a central facility, perhaps in the US, on which these cases could be analyzed, and then some trends may emerge, and then we can anticipate the trends, or we can improve what we're doing, or are different from what they used to be 10 years ago. That trend can be, can be brought up to conscious, and then we can start working on the new business problems that are taking place across the globe. And again, if we document the cases around the globe and provide it, give them back to the US where they can be analyzed and then used in order to keep on improving the programs and the what we call today the conversational intelligence. Tomorrow, maybe Judith comes out with 5 more books with different things, and then all these business cases are fitting those new books and these new methodologies and these new ideas. I think that's part of it. And then the other part that we thought it was important when we met with Judith, because when you meet Judith and Richard, you realize how human they are, and how I would say concerned they are with matters of the world. And not everyone can pay for services like ours. Not everyone can afford to buy a conversational intelligence book. And even if they buy a conversational intelligence book, they might not be able to put it to practice in a specific situations. And we're talking here about maybe families or individuals that are having trouble with their relationships, a family that is not having a good dynamic within the family, and then you want to make some of the programs accessible to other people, to people that cannot afford to pay for your services, and so a few ideas started to emerge. People shouldn't be suffering that much in the world. I mean, conversations can definitely change the landscape of families, not only businesses and organizations that can afford it, but families can have a better family experience if they would be having intelligent conversations in the living room. I need to, start some research on family conversations, or I don't know. This is just rough ideas of what should be done, but I think it reflects some of Judith and Richard's convictions about the world being a better world for everyone, and not only for the people that can afford to have a better world. I hope I have said it right, Judith.
No, you definitely have said it right. And building upon that idea, I mean, I'm tossing it out to the room, but one of the things I was thinking about is if we do find trends, if we do find case studies, if we do find things that are worthy of people investing in. I mean, I thought about getting fellowships and going to the Templeton grants. My brother's gotten 2 grants from Templeton. One of the people in the Creating the Institute, a neuroscientist, is on their board. So I've been thinking about different ways that we might be able to attract money to the work that we're doing, and it could then contribute to different countries. I know that in Nigeria, and what I'm doing was he was thinking about how to come up with ideas for projects and then have companies which have foundations invest in the projects that we could help facilitate. And so there are different ways that we could bring in. And I think it's worthy of keeping that out, because I think that this has some, I'm tossing it into the room.
I think one idea could be train students, because I the students that go in and going to come up there.
Yeah.
I think one idea, Jorge and Ivan, that we had in our countries that we trained students to go to Caracas, and they trained a lot of youngsters in the favelas. And the only reason was to get brilliant people that were very poor, bring them on another level of education, and bring them from there to university. And this you could do through this. You could use this foundation through the use of students. And I think it alone to make a difference. And this could be a hell of a program to do it.
Yep.
That's my idea.
Wonderful. Yvonne, you're back.
Can you see me? Because I can't see myself.
Yes, we see you. That's so strange. But did you hear us talking?
Yes, I did. I heard all of that.
Okay. Cool. And if you have any other thoughts, I know that this was going to be an introduction of each other and the beginning of a conversation with some ideas, just to hear each other where you're floating the ideas and how to hold that in the space as we move forward. I don't know how much time all of you planned for this.
Well, I know John didn't.
John didn't. John needs to be going back.
I wasn't aware that it.
Yeah, you weren't aware that we were going to go this long. So I wanted to see, with just a starting place, hearing each other's voices and beginning to hear what's, it's the beginning of a launch of something exciting.
We should all connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we have a LinkedIn ability to connect. We have Creating the Institute on LinkedIn. So why don't I do something to at least start getting everybody's names in and invitations out to you so that we can start a conversation that is sustainable regardless of what time zone we're in. Is that fair enough?
I think that makes a lot of sense. That would be really helpful.
That would be terrific. That's great. Okay. Any goodbyes, any thoughts as we sign out?
Yeah, you could ask me questions of what would be the difference of the conversation intelligence towards others. Ask them.
Or a thing to think about?
The debate we had earlier this afternoon.
To think about is what would be the kinds of things as we could bring conversational intelligence and infuse it with what would bring aspirations to life for us. What are some of the things for us to think about that we'd like to be involved with, making happen? I know that, Yvonne, you and I talked about some things. You sketched out some ideas. Let's keep that generative conversation going so that we can be in support of each other, developing these ideas so that they move from ideas to reality, and that we'll make an opportunity to do another conversation or a meetup so that we can keep meeting each other and meeting these new ideas. Make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Great. And we'll start the time.
It's been wonderful having the opportunity to meet you all finally.
Terrific. And if Sandy can hear, thank you for being part of this, even though we didn't get to hear your voice. I know that you were there trying to come in, and Karen as well. I think I saw that you were trying to get in. So thank you again, and we'll look forward to our next meet. Again,
thank you so very much, everyone. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you, Judith, as usual, and Richard. My best wishes to you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay, take care. Okay. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, John, you can ease them down the road.
Yeah, okay, thank you.